What were some of your goals when you were looking for a parcel?
I wasn't being that picky, I'll be honest. I think that was part of my expectation setting up front. I wanted something that had deer. It didn't have to be world-class booner, multiple booners every year, 160, 170s. That was beyond my goal, right? If it had deer, it had good deer, a plus, and then the location. So I would have liked something with some kind of income, because to me, I understand that some folks will say, hey, income producing acres is not necessarily good deer habitat. However, I think for myself, looking at it, it's also something to help build equity. Mm-hmm. If you can still find a piece that has huntable acres, has some of that ground to offset with income, you're building equity maybe a little bit faster. I understand you can do some things with some acres and increase your price per acre that way too. But so I was looking for something an hour and a half, ideally that maybe had a little bit of tillable or some area that I could do some kind of food plots with if I chose. And then really just in a neighborhood that I had confidence in. Bigger deer would have been a plus. And I think we were able to manage that for sure with the parcel that we ended up landing on. No doubt about it in my book. Like, I'm getting trail cam photos and I'm sending them back. I almost don't even send them back home because it's not even, like, what? I don't want to, yeah. But that's really about it. If there was timber value, that would have been great. But what I really wanted was something close to home and something to get my foot in the door. You keep hearing the best time to buy land was yesterday. Well, the best time for me to buy land would have been 15, 20 years ago, possibly, right? So I didn't want to keep kicking this can down the road. So it was something close, something that had deer, something I could hunt. And that was really on the surface about it. Because I think too, if you think about, our process to get our journey together, we walked one piece, and then the second piece actually put an offer in on because it fit those boxes, right? It was close. Price was right. Had opportunities, to even stay overnight based on some of the outbuildings. It was the second piece essentially walked. I felt comfortable putting an offer in because I knew it doesn't have to be my forever farm. How many people buy their first car and it's like their dream car, right? Like, you don't go out there typically and buy the car that you've been dreaming of as an adolescent. So I didn't expect to be able to go out there and buy my dream farm. I knew there was going to have some blemishes, nothing I couldn't overlook, nothing that doesn't mean I couldn't enjoy it. I wasn't expecting the dream farm right out of the gate either.
I think those are excellent expectations or very self-aware goals, because I think sometimes people have too lofty of goals for what they're wanting. I mean, I get some calls like, well, I'm looking for 40 acres at like $4,000 an acre, half tillable, half timber, and an excellent deer neighborhood. And it's like, well, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but those don't exist anymore to speak of. And I think your point of just getting your foot in the door, learning the process and enjoying it along the way too. I think one thing is, obviously if you have a family, your family can enjoy it. That's what's the intrinsic value of that. And then all these different things that go into the whole process, and not having to pay for a lease or not having to bumble around on public, which there's, I still run cameras on public and still bumble around on there too, but it's like an additional option for you.
Oh yeah. That being realistic, I think probably trips a lot of people up. They have this, and I get it. It's the biggest probably the second biggest purchase you're probably going to make, maybe besides your home. So you want it to be the right one, and you kind of get, you sit about it, you dream about it, you think, and all of a sudden you've built this thing up to be this. It has to be this. It has to check all these boxes. When in reality, get in, make some mistakes maybe along the way as you try to improve or enjoy it. Learn from it and go from there. Who knows? Maybe along that journey, maybe it's just the journey for you. And I think probably for me as a hunter, it's more the journey than maybe the results in some ways. So there's nothing to say I can't go out and enjoy this piece. And I have this last year, and I look forward to being able to get, my sons out there, hopefully at some point if they pick up the hobby. But we can go out there owning a piece. I can go plant Christmas trees. I can go plant sunflowers, like, pumpkins.
Yeah.
Having that piece under my control was the ultimate goal. Along the way, if it doesn't have perfect access, or it doesn't have this, it doesn't have that, that's for another day.
Yeah, that's very true. And I think talking a little bit about your property too, I think there was a lot of unique attributes. There's a bunch of stuff that is above average, or like these unique attributes that I think that help increase that property's overall potential. Have you found that to be right, or were we wrong?
No, okay. It was what we expected. I'm tickled with it, right? And it is unique. So there were some access issues. It's pretty much just west access, and there's essentially a kind of a corner crossing kind of situation going on, right? But it's bordered on one end by kind of a state park, if you want to call it that, or county park. I actually technically don't know. Non-hunting area. that can act as a sanctuary and kind of as a funnel or a thoroughfare out to some of these ag fields. And I know that I'm not going to have a neighbor issue on that corner, right? So yes, it is unique, and again, that's probably a little bit specific circumstance, but for me, it's been playing out just absolutely perfect. The way it lays out in the back, I have to be careful going in and out, but right now I'm not hunting it every day either, right? I've got family, I've got kids. So I can be selective in the days that I go out there, and I can take the wind and I can take my access into account and hunt it properly too.
I hope you guys enjoyed this. My name is Jake Hofer, and I'm a real estate agent out of the state of Illinois, and it's my goal to help 100 people buy their first farm. Been doing that with the Land Podcast and clips like this every single Thursday and Saturday that are released here on the channel. And to be one of those 100 people, all you have to do is, if you're in the state of Illinois and I can help you, I'd be happy to do so. Number two, if you want to get connected with someone that can help you, reach out and I'll be happy to get you in contact with an agent that I would personally do business with. And the last one is, if you just simply learn something from the content we're putting out, or you get inspired to take action, I want to know, get you out of that spreadsheet. I'm on a mission to help 100 people. Until next time, see you.